Chapter 14: Systems and Automation. A business grows when you stop reinventing the same day. A system is a promise on paper. It is the shortest path you know that keeps a promise again and again. Automation is a helper that clicks the buttons you would click when you are fresh. Together they turn energy into progress even when you are tired. This chapter builds that habit. We will write work down so anyone can run it. We will trim clicks with simple tools. We will keep the system human, small, and calm. Begin with one rule. Write the work before you wire the work. When you try to automate a mess, the mess moves faster. When you write a clear path, the path is easy to teach and easy to automate later. Use one page. Name the promise at the top. Name the inputs you must have before you begin. Name the steps in the order a patient friend could follow. Name the finish line in one sentence. Add the link to the folder where proof lives. That one page is your standard. You will use it before you buy another tool. You will change it the moment reality changes. Standards are not heavy manuals. A good standard sounds like this. Promise. Publish a one-page site in 72 hours. Inputs. Logo, hours, one sentence about who you serve, a booking link. Steps. Create the draft from the current template. Replace the headline with the customer sentence. Add hours and map. Add the booking button. Send a single paragraph for approval. Schedule the handoff call. Publish on the call and hand over the login. Finish line. The owner edits one line live and smiles. Proof. Save a screenshot of the publish moment in the gallery folder with today's date. Anyone on your team could follow this in 10 minutes. Your future self will thank you next month. Use the same form for every repeating task. Intake for a canvas print at the stand. Launch for a new page. Install for a clinic. Weekly review. Invoice and follow up. Refund and apology. The form is boring on purpose. The boring page is the most valuable tool in your company because it turns anxiety into steps. Now connect the standards to the week you learned in the last chapter. The first deep block on Tuesday is creation. You open the build standard and you run it without thinking. The service block on Wednesday is sales. You open the reply standard and you send fast, kind notes that move people to dates and deposits. The maintenance block on Friday is review and publish. You open the weekly review standard and you read numbers out loud and choose one lever for next week. The system gives your week a track. Your week gives the system a heartbeat. Teach the system with tiny videos. A 1-minute screen recording that shows how you create a draft from the template. A 40-second clip that shows where to paste a deposit link. A 30-second tour of the folder tree for proof. Save each clip next to the one-page standard with the same file name plus the word video. You are not producing a course. You are freeing your future self from re-explaining the same step 10 times. Turn 3 clicks a week into a rule. If you click it 3 times a week, write a small standard and look for a way to let a tool click it for you. Do not automate everything. Only move the clicks that pull you away from people or away from deep work. Good targets are calendar booking, deposit collection, invoice sending, file naming, and reminders at handoff. Poor targets are decisions that need judgment, messages that need tone, and edges that change each time. Choose tools like you choose chairs. They should be sturdy, simple, and comfortable. Pick one calendar that lets people book only the blocks you want. Pick one payment link that works on phones without logins. Pick one storage space with clear folders. Pick one chat channel you actually read. Pick one board where work moves from left to right. Limit yourself to what you will keep when you are busy. A small team with 3 good tools beats a large team with 16 tabs of guilt. Name things so you never hunt again. Begin every file and every folder with the date in the same shape. Year-month-day. Then the client name. Then the promise word. Example. 2025-09-15 Cafe Luna launch. Proof files follow the same rule. The sound of clean names is the sound of time returning to you. Build a small intake that creates order from the start. For the stand, the intake is a card that asks for size and preview approval. For the studio, the intake is a short form that asks for logo, hours, and the customer sentence. For the tool, the intake is a one-page checklist that asks for clinic hours, break times, and the email that will receive bookings. Every intake lands in the right folder with the date in the name. Your standard points to that folder. You stop hunting and start building. Automate handshakes, not relationships. When a deposit lands, let the system send a friendly message with the next steps and a link to book the handoff call. When a call is booked, let the system add it to your calendar with the folder link in the description. When a page is published, let the system ask for a 2-line quote and permission to save a screenshot. When an invoice is due, let the system nudge politely on the day you said you would nudge. You still write the first note that matters. You still speak on the call that decides trust. The tool does the taps around those moments so you have energy for the human parts. Keep incidents small with a single sheet. When a mistake happens, you write the date, the promise that slipped, the moment we noticed, the cause in one sentence, the fix we applied, and the change we made to the standard so it will not happen again. You do not blame. You do not hide. You learn where the system bent and you make it stronger. After a few months, that sheet will calm you. You will see a list of bumps you handled and you will know you can handle the next one. Return to our running stories and wire a few useful automations in words. At the canvas stand, the intake lives on the table. The buyer picks a size. You scan a code and your phone opens a tiny page where you tap the size and type the buyer's name. You snap the preview and tap approved. The entry creates a file with the date and name. The press receives the size and photo and prints. When the canvas is ready, you tap done and the system adds today's result to a folder called proof. On Friday, your phone shows 5 thumbnails and you pick one for the weekly post. You did not hunt for anything. The system nudged you at each step and created proof as a side effect of serving. At the one-page studio, the intake is an online form that collects logo, hours, the one sentence, and a photo. The form creates a folder with the date and name. It also creates a draft using your current template and places the files where the draft looks for them. The system emails the client with a single paragraph that confirms the 72-hour plan and gives a deposit link. When the deposit lands, the booking link opens 2 slots. The client picks one. Your calendar event is created with the folder link in the description. On the call, you press publish and the system saves a screenshot to the gallery folder while you talk. On Friday, the gallery pulls the latest 3 screenshots and you paste 2 lines above them. Your hands do the human parts. The rest moves without friction. At the clinic booking tool, the intake is a compact checklist in your help center. A clinic manager enters hours and break times and the email where bookings should arrive. The tool creates the schedule and a short link. It also drafts a welcome message the manager can forward to staff. The moment the first online booking arrives, a rule adds a star in the log and sends a short note with a link to record a 60-second clip if the manager wishes. If the clinic chooses annual prepay, the system bumps their support priority and shows a same-day promise in your inbox for that account. Your team maintains the promise because the system marks those messages. Churn drops because the first win arrives on day 1 and support replies fast to the accounts that need it most. Do not overbuild. A fragile system is worse than no system. Test each change in a single case. Watch one job move from left to right. Only then apply it to the rest. Keep a rollback plan. If the automation touches money, run a dry run that sends to your own address first. If it touches scheduling, book a fake slot and cancel it to see the message and the calendar entry. Your standard is still the truth. The tool serves the standard, not the other way around. Design one weekly ritual that keeps systems warm. You open a board called Tiny Fixes. You pick one small annoyance and you remove it. You shorten a sentence. You add a missing link. You rename a folder. You change one step that always caused a stumble. 5 minutes saved each day becomes hours by the end of the month. This is compound efficiency and it is quiet. Agree on what good looks like. Write a sentence at the top of each standard that says the finish line in human terms. The canvas looks crisp and dry and the buyer smiles. The site owner changes one line and says, "This is mine." The clinic sees the first online booking while you are on the call. That sentence guides judgment more than any checklist. If you miss the sentence but hit the steps you still missed. If you hit the sentence and skipped a step that was not needed, you still kept the promise. Your team will grow faster when they know which truth comes first. Create one place where the truth lives. Your standards live in one folder. Your proof lives in one gallery. Your numbers live in one page. The folder has a simple shape. Standards. Proof. Numbers. Within each folder, the files begin with the date and a clear name. When someone joins, they learn the path in a minute. When you return from a break, you do not wonder where you put things. You already know. Let naming tidy your pipeline. Name stages like people talk. Targeted. Contacted. Engaged. Qualified. Proposed. 1. Nurture. Your board uses those names. Your standard for each stage says the exit in one line. For example, engaged ends when you know urgency and budget signals. Proposed ends when a deposit arrives or a start date is booked. You do not argue with yourself about where to put a card. You move it the moment the exit line is true. Use small templates to save tone. Tuck 3 short messages under each standard. A reply that says here is the plan and the link. A nudge that says I will release your slot at 5 unless you want me to hold it. A handoff note that says what happens next and when. You paste and personalize. You do not write the same paragraph 20 times. You also do not sound like a robot. The message is yours. The skeleton is shared. Make your systems friendly to risk. Every time you launch a new template or a new step, run a small dress rehearsal. At the stand, you print one canvas for yourself and cut it with a new setting before weekend traffic. In the studio, you publish a page with a test domain and click through every link before the call. In the tool, you spin up a fake clinic and book 3 dummy slots to see logs and emails. You will still miss things. You will miss fewer of them. You will fix the rest faster because your incident sheet shows you how. Plan upgrades with a release note voice. When you improve a template or change a step, write 2 lines. What changed and why it helps the buyer. A release note is not only for software. It is for any promise you keep. Share the line with your team and, when it helps, with your buyers. They will not read everything. They will feel the care. Keep your automations reversible. If your payment tool fails for a day, you should still be able to send a manual link and record a deposit in a simple sheet. If your scheduler is down, you should still be able to email 2 time options and add the event by hand. If your file storage stalls, you should still have a local copy of the current job. A system that depends on everything always being up is a fragile system. You want a system that bends and then returns to shape. Now anchor all of this in a monthly maintenance day. On that day, you look at 3 things. The standards that were touched this month. The automations that sent money or time. The single folder where proof lives. You fix one path that broke. You delete one tool you no longer need. You archive one standard that is no longer true. You add one field that will save you from hunting later. An hour here is worth a week next quarter. Let this chapter end with 3 short scenes you can hear when you are busy. You are about to start a big week. You open a standard and follow it so you do not think. You deliver fast and clean. You save a screenshot without trying because the system placed the button where your thumb already was. You post on Friday without dread because the proof picked itself. Your buyer writes a quote without effort because the message asked for 2 lines and the form already remembered their name. Your helper steps in on Wednesday because the standard is on one page and the file names make sense. You sleep. The business keeps its promise while you rest. Systems and automation are not cold. They are how you protect the warm parts of your work. They hold your hand when you are tired. They give a helper a map when you finally ask for help. They turn a good week into a pattern. They turn a pattern into a brand. Build the smallest system that runs when you are not at your best. Let it grow with you. Change it the moment reality changes. Keep the one page in front of you and the human in front of the screen. That is how small companies become steady companies you can keep.